I rarely go a day that I haven't knit. It's just a time to recenter my body and my mind, and everything is right with the world. Hi, I'm Loni Holt, and welcome to my knitting home away from home. This is the McKinney Knittery in McKinney, Texas. I have been knitting since 2006. I had learned how to crochet when I was 8. My mom, her sister, and her mom, we all lived in the same town, and they all crocheted, so I learned to crochet as an 8-year-old. Skill kind of dropped away as I got into the teenage years and the college years. I just put a wish out into the universe to think I'd like to take up some knitting, and a friend gave me a Learn to Knit kit. So on New Year's Day of 2006, I spent with the DVD and the workbook struggling to make my hands do what the video was doing. The transition's a little different because crochet is with one hook and knitting is with 2 needles that don't have hooks. So when I learned to knit I was very frustrated because knitting needles lacked hooks. But then I really got into it, and knitting just became more meditative for me than crochet. Living in Dallas, I am blessed enough that I've got lots of local yarn shops here with options for classes. It can be pricey, so it can be $200 just for a class of 3 hours with one of this level of instructors, versus on KnitStars, they bring those all to me in the comfort of my HD TV in my living room. And the nice thing about KnitStars is I can always go back and rewind and slow down and watch it many times. If you take a class in person, you either get it while you're there in person or you didn't get it. And usually at the end of KnitStars, there's a Q&A segment with the various instructors. So one of the favorite things about KnitStars outside of the instructors and the projects would be seeing the behind the scenes with each of the instructors and their design process and how they work, where they live. The breadth of ideas, whether they're from nature, whether they're from just walking down Main Street or a park in your community or your own backyard, the designers always have some kind of neat inspiration. And that's really what it is like knitting with the KnitStars, is they're right there with me, and I get to see all these places in the world that I haven't been to yet. They might be on my wish list, they might not have been on my wish list, and now they're on my wish list, so we'll see. In KnitStars, they teach you to kind of get out of your own head, and you don't always have to follow exactly what the designer designed. It's okay to change color choices. It's okay to change the stitch pattern. Be creative and do your thing, and so long as you're happy with it, that's all that really matters. Knitters and crocheters on Facebook that are part of the community are also great sources of inspiration and help. We share triumphs, we share projects, we share the not so great times. We've got a couple of our students are going through chemo and that sort of thing, and having difficulties knitting right now because they're having chemo brain, but we're all just reaching out to encourage her with, okay, go back to basics with some garter stitch, scarves. And it's okay if it looks wonky, but it keeps going. And so that's helped to lift her up, helps to lift us up, and we're all just one part of one bigger community to knit the world together.